for a teenage outcast like Mikey Childress. An outcast can still choose his companions in August, and is for the most part subject only to his own demands. He can make his own hours. Hell would begin again in a few short weeks when school resumed. At that time he would again be subject to schedules not of his making and companions not of his choosing, and the daily dread that had to be endured beyond the point of being endurable. The town of Auburn dozed at the foot of the cliffs and ravines of the Niagara escarpment under the heavy August sky like a stout country dowager in a rocking chair, one who had gathered the rich southern Ontario farmland around her like a quilt in order to ward off an imaginary chill. Wedged between Milton and Campbellville, Auburn thought of itself as a self-contained universe and was smugly proud of what it considered its separate identity. It had a population of 3,200 souls, and few of them would want to live anywhere else. Main Street ran the length of the downtown core, such as it was, and was lined with shops, the post office, the library, the town hall, and the offices of the local paper, the Auburn Gazette. In the residential section near downtown, the streets were wide and deep, the houses set back from the road on good-sized lots under an arching cathedral of poplar, elm, and maple trees. Most of the houses dated from the 19th century and were done in the classic southern Ontario style of muted red brick with white gingerbread trim. The lawns were well tended, the walkways bordered with shrubs and flower beds. In the summer, the somnolent green haze carried on it the sound of lawn mowers and the scent of fresh-cut grass and flowers. In autumn, people in Auburn still burned leaves in the backyard while the town constable looked the other way, and the smoke drifted generally, mingling with the scent of ripe apples and chilling dark earth harvest from the farmers' fields outside of town. It was a town that prided itself on its rectitude. Able-bodied men worked and provided for their families. Those women who didn't stay home with their children worked in town and were considered unfortunate. There were 4 churches in Auburn: the Catholic St. Benedict's, the Anglican St. Michael's, and the Lutheran St. Martin's. The 4th, the Assembly of Christ's Holy Stripes, was a rogue fundamentalist sect founded by an ex-con and self-proclaimed pastor named Kelvin Cowell. The Holy Stripers, as the assembly was referred to in town, met in a converted industrial warehouse on the outskirts of Auburn for 3-hour services, Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings, and their brand of Christianity was harsh and pitiless. 3. Mikey had lived in Auburn his entire life and felt he could account for every bruising minute of those 17 years. He knew there was a world beyond the town because he'd read about it in books and magazines and on the internet. He'd seen that world on television and in the movies as well. He knew it was a clean place, one where people like him didn't get beaten up nearly every day at school, or after school when the bullies, who roamed like packs of callow teenage jackals, had a freer range of territory in which to hunt him and more time to plan how best to torture him with the least chance of getting caught. In the world beyond Auburn, people like Mikey didn't get slammed into lockers nearly every day, until purple contusions bloomed on their chests and upper arms like pulpy grapes. They didn't get their heads forced into toilets that were then flushed, producing a terrifying sensation of drowning as the victim took in water and shit when he screamed, only to be pulled up brutally by the hair at the last minute, coughing and sputtering, to the sound of coarse, brutal adolescent male laughter. On good days, it didn't happen twice, and on great days, the toilet was flushed before the dunking. By and large, there were 2 places where Mikey felt safe: in his bedroom and in his head. His room was a walled fortress where he could be himself. His books